Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. So today I'm behind the wheel of the new BMW 5 Series. This is a 520d, and I thought you'd quite like to have a good look round. I've heard so much about this car. It is getting massively rave reviews from everybody. It is packed full of technology, and I have to say, first impressions from sat where I am is it is a beautiful place to be. So let's take a really good look round this car, inside and out, talk about some of the technology on it, and most importantly for me, talk about how it feels to drive.
How do you take a great car and make it better? Well, with each new generation of 5 Series, that's what BMW do. This latest generation 520d M Sport is perhaps the perfect executive saloon. An intoxicating mix of performance, comfort, economy and technology. The on-the-road price for this car is just over £39,000, but this particular model, with options, can be yours for £48,500.
Now there are a range of drive settings in this car, but I'm going to start my drive in Eco Pro because I think this is a really interesting drive mode. The first thing is it deadens the throttle off, so it kind of doesn't feel that sporty and all the dials turn blue. But when it's in this mode, this car does some really clever things, shutting down certain systems, recharging things, and gives you the ultimate fuel economy with a combined cycle of nearly 80 miles per gallon and a huge range. Whether I could drive the car like this in all conditions, I doubt very much. And on my head-up display, I'm actually getting a notification to tell me to stop putting my foot on the throttle, to lift off, because I don't need to be on the throttle. I need to lift off and give myself the ultimate fuel economy. So Eco Pro mode, very clever. I've then got comfort mode, and I guess for most people this is the kind of the setting that they will do most of their driving in. The car set up to drive. Normally it's going to be reasonably responsive, and the steering feel is going to be nice. But then obviously once you get it out onto a nice piece of open road, what you really want to do is stick it into the sport mode, and that sharpens everything up and turns it into a much more responsive car. So let's do that. We'll stick it into sport. I've now got a far more punchy throttle underneath my right foot, and the car kind of comes alive. I've now got red dials, I've got an M Sport badge in the middle of the TFT screen, and it all feels far more sporty, responsive. And I have to say, I don't drive that many BMWs, and it's been a while since I've driven one, but man, they make good cars. They make good cars that just have this lovely driving feel, and on a lovely bit of open road like this, you've got such a nice feel through the steering. It's a really lovely weight to it. And then when you get on the throttle coming out of a bend, you know, in this setting it's got plenty of pull, and you know, this is an executive saloon. It's not a sports car, but it has a really lovely sporty driving feel.
The interior of the new 5 Series is simply stunning. This car is fitted with the technology package that includes a head-up display, wireless charging, and the much talked about gesture control. The M Sport Plus pack adds stunning 19-inch alloys and the superb Harman Kardon audio system.
So let's have a bit of a chat about this cabin. First off, I think it's a very beautifully designed cabin. You know, you would expect this from BMW, but the choice of materials in here is lovely. I've got lovely leather on the steering wheel and the sort of central boss of the steering wheel. These seats are super comfy and very supportive, and I've got this kind of piano black detailing all over the dashboard. So it really, really does look very nice. And the leather in this, it's kind of got this sort of grain to it, this texture to it. I really, really like that. It's very nice. Again, I made a comment about when I was driving the Tesla recently, whether I could live with white seats or not, that's a different matter entirely. But this press car, it must get quite a lot of, you know, a lot of hammering, and it's holding up pretty good, to be honest. It's nice in here. So the normal drive select system here is standard BMW, really easy to use, very intuitive, and that feeds onto the wide screen on the dashboard. Might be saying something a little bit controversial here, but I'm not a fan of screens that stick up out the dashboard like that. I prefer them to be integrated, and it's a trend we see in lots and lots of cars nowadays. This one's actually not too bad. Sometimes it looks like the designers have just stuck an iPad onto the dashboard, and I kind of understand why they do it, but I would much prefer that to be integrated in some way into the dashboard rather than just being stuck out. I always think that looks quite clumsy and awkward. That said, the various technology and the stuff that's on that particular MMI is very, very cool and very, very easy to use. So I'm just going to put it into manual gearbox, and I'm also going to put it into sport mode, just to kind of feel, if you like, the ultimate sporty performance of the car. Now, the instant thing that changes is my dashboard changes. So on the right hand side now, I have a sort of red tint behind the rev counter and a big select gear selector, and on the left hand side a big digital speedo and analog speedo running around the outside. And straight away I kind of feel a much more sporty car underneath me. I just want to have a play with this gearbox, because it's, if you like, the one thing I haven't really tried too much in BMWs is the flappy paddle manual shift gearbox. And the change down and change up so far seems very nice, and then just pull out of there. There's a little, tiny little hesitation on the upshift, and I guess that's to be expected. This isn't a kind of ultimate sports gearbox, but certainly when you're in this sport mode on the paddles, it feels like a really nice sporty car underneath you, and it's got a really lovely balanced feel about it. And on these longer, stretchier B roads that I've been driving the car on today, it really does, when you push on and you turn into a corner and you kind of, it gives you that confidence to drive through the corner, and I like that a lot. And I kind of now see where that BMW, you know, the ultimate driving machine moniker comes from. But yeah, very, very good. Oh, this is a nice car to drive, but it kind of brings me to that point in the video where I give you my final impressions of the car. So the only other 5 Series I've driven is an older Mark M5, which was biblically good, and I've really been interested and looking forward to driving this car. I totally get where all of the rave reviews are coming from. It's a very, very, very pleasant place to be. The tech on the car is amazing. I think you'd need to spend quite a long time with it to kind of learn everything and make sure you use everything. I've scratched the surface today in the very short time I've had with the car. Driving feel wise, it's very, very good. This engine's a real stormer, and it's got that nice mix of economy but also performance. You stick it in the sport mode, you put it to the paddles, and it's a really quick car. It's, you know, it'll get you from A to B very, very quickly. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I think, you know, they've done a great job here, and I totally get where the the big sort of BMW fan club comes from, to be honest. I've got a few big thanks to say. Obviously I need to say a big thank you to BMW UK for letting me drive the car today. Again, this is another car that I've accessed through the Craig TV Car Collective. Huge thanks to those guys for arranging the day and giving me access to this car. It's one that I've really wanted to drive, and I've actually struggled in the past getting access to BMW cars, so I'd really like to do more BMW on my channel, and hopefully maybe this is the catalyst to do that. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. If you have done so, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol for plenty more content to come, but from the very comfortable and very sporty seat of the new BMW 5 Series. You take care, guys. Drive safe.